Maybe I'm still free.
Hello and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. I'm of course Joe McCann. It is Friday the 28th of August. We are back. It is a mixture of pleasure and pain. It is a Problems Again podcast, episode 548. It's a Friday night. I'm joined by my esteemed brother Scott McCory out there in glorious Campus Line.
Fucking glorious. Place of dreams, Joseph. Place of dreams. How are you, mate? You alright?
I'm good. When the weather's good, I woke up this morning. It was lashing here. It was like proper like Game of Thrones, like lashing. And see now, a fucking tropical day. Unbelievable. Strange. One day I'm thinking about buying coal. Next day I'm thinking about buying a fucking pair of Bermuda shorts. We're going to introduce that's wrapped it up. Introduce our other guest, Brian McColligan, who's on here.
You were talking about the rain and he gave up.
the man who's going to bring some knowledge, sense, and integrity to this podcast anytime he comes on. But he's obviously sacked it. He says like, we're done with this. So it's me and you for now, right? So I suppose we should lay out the kind of crux of what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is going to be the last games, right? We're going to try and touch on the absolute glory and phenomenal feeling around the first game. And then we're going to talk about what must be one of the biggest arse collapsing performances in maybe football history, or definitely Celtic history. Just watching something really awful take place. I mean, will we get cracking into it and get
go ahead. We'll go ahead. We'll add them in once he comes in.
Well, I mean, you're obviously at the home game, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, let's talk about expectations going in. I felt, Brian, you there?
Let's try again, yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Brian McColligan, a man that brings knowledge, sense, and integrity to this podcast. Former pro and friend of the show. How you doing, Brian?
I'm very well. And how are you guys?
We were just padding for time there while you were offline. But we were about to just launch head into it without you. So wait.
Go for it.
What we were talking about was I was asking Scott about being at the home leg of the last game. So I think we wanted to touch on that before we kind of get into the actual whole tragedy of the away leg. I mean, so Scott, going into the game, I said to somebody on that day, I felt more confident than most other people felt, right? And then on the other end of the away leg, I felt the opposite way, which is weird. But I kind of felt like going into that home game, it's like, I feel like there's a good energy here. There's something brewing, something moving, something going forward. I mean, something to kind of get behind. And it turned out to be, pretty much amazing. I mean, I don't know what you felt kind of going into the game yourself, or what your people you were talking to, but what was the general feeling going in? Because I'm sure the feeling like going in for some was different than the feeling coming out.
Well, for me, so I was invited onto Five Live again. That seems to be their contact when they don't really want to talk about big things. They get daft old me on. So I came on and I approached it in two ways. I approached it in the way that we've shat the bed so many times that I take nothing for granted. But on the flip side, we've spent a lot of money. They have not spent loads of money. They were pretty much in the same situation with us. They were getting relegated at one point, and they changed their manager and kind of turned it all around. But I still think the nick we're in, we should be beating Austrian clubs at this stage. And whilst I generally, as we always laugh about it, I like to kind of live my life with pessimism, and then that way you don't get upset. Whilst I was expecting a hard enough game, I was expecting Celtic to be decent. So I was nervous, but a kind of cool nervous, as you say. The season started well. I don't know if it's hindsight to say the wins we've had have been great. They've been great watching and they've been fun and stuff like that. But there is a bit of madness about them in terms of every team we've played should have scored at least one goal against us. and obviously Kilmarnock did. So there was that nervousness that European football you're always up against something a wee bit more in general. So in summary, I was nervous, but it was a kind of confident nervousness about the game. I don't know if you want to talk to Brian before we get into the game then.
I think for me, if we're starting for the home game, as we approached the home game, obviously because of the two games previously, you'd seen that the team could score goals. And I think if you reflect on last year, that was always the bit that you were struggling with the team to say, right, where's the goals going to come through? How are we going to score 2 and 3, 4 goals? But you could see in the Kilmarnock game, you could see in the Dundee United game, like we've got ways of scoring goals now. But as you rightly said, Scott, to be fair, they were exposed, and obviously in the Dundee United game, the first sort of 15 minutes probably could have been sort of 1 or 2 nil to them. So that sort of gave you the fear. But because you're always able to score goals, I always think to myself, right, you've got a chance, and you sort of reflect on when Martin O'Neill came in, what he'd done was sort of sewed up the back line and said, right, we're going to be hard to beat. We're not going to ship easy goals. I appreciate we can't score a lot of goals, but it was all put on Negrin, right? If you're going to be your goal scorer next, so I stopped it last year, and the team just sort of worked away through it. Whereas this year you're looking at it going, actually, there's goals in the team here. It's so a wee bit more open. So I was quite quietly confident. So when I came out the game at 3-0, I thought we were. It's not lucky, but I was like, that's a massive result. 3-0, it's felt like a massive result. Because it didn't feel like a 3-0 game. Because I felt like every time they went forward, they looked really dangerous. And obviously that first goal in the first minute, it's one of the best goals you'll see, you'll ever see that's been disallowed. But I always felt as if they were a decent side.
Even the headed goal I thought was a great move, and it kind of comes back to the Stoke the Crows thing, doesn't it? I mean, that headed goal was so it was pretty bad from him, because he didn't need to take that step forward because the cross was perfect, pinpoint. But no, they were decent. But I wasn't sitting going, wow, we're super lucky. I can't believe this. I thought we took our chances well. We probably could have scored another one. We grew into the game defensively, I felt. I mean, obviously it started a bit mental, but it was... I didn't come away going, they're a great team and we've beat them and this is one of the greatest results. And I kind of went, they're decent, but we allowed them a lot of slack. Midfield wise. So Johnny, who you know well, Brian, Joe, he's a pal of both mine and Brian worked with him. And Johnny's got a good foot, but he'd own him. And he drove all the game, and we spoke on the way back, and we were talking about the second leg, and over the goals, right, because the goals have blew your head, and then the top of their goal, the next talking point was, what are we going to do in the second game to stop them running through our midfield? And we never came to the conclusion. We felt, though, could you, in the next game, sacrifice Negrin for somebody who would sit in? And we kind of batted that idea about, because Negrin started the season so impressively well, and he'd scored that goal that maybe you shouldn't. But I mean, as much as, I don't know any Rangers fan, like my dad's talking to me and I'm going, it was 3-0, Dad, but and that the basketball analogy comes out. I said at the time, Johnny said it. I had no confidence, bar the fact that we scored 3 goals, that we would go over there and dominate or beat them. I felt it's 3-0 enough to get us through, rather than 3-0 will make it easy for us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was no total confidence in the performance that allowed me to think we would go there and dominate.
The only bit I would say, Scott, see, watching them, the physical presence that they had in the forward line, I was just like, they're going to create chances without a shadow of doubt. And that's how I felt. Actually, 3-0 probably wasn't reflective of the first game. But for me, it's leaving the game last week. And I was speaking to my father-in-law and my brother-in-law were talking about it. And I was talking to my boy about it, and he's like, "Oh, Celtic were brilliant." I says, the only concern for me was Carter Vickers. I says, because the centre forward gave him about 5 or 10 yards at a start, and it was a straight sprint from the halfway line, and he was 5 or 10 yards. It was ahead of him, and he beat him. I says, that's a concern. I says, because that boy can shift, and Carter Vickers looks as if he's still not up to the point where he should be. And for me, it was just I just felt as if going forward, they had goals. So I don't think you spoke to any Celtic fan who were thinking about Tuesday night saying, Celtic win 2-0, 3-0, whatever it is. I think everybody was saying, Isfield definitely score, but we're not going to score 4, and we'll score 1 at least. So I think that it was fully accepted that they'll score because we showed enough of a sort of an attacking presence that you went, actually, they've got a wee bit about them at set pieces because they're big, strong and physical. They've got pace up front. If we push our fullbacks on, then they'll isolate Carter Vickers, they'll get a ball in behind them. And you could see that, the glimpses of it in the first 15, 20 minutes. I totally agree. In the first game, Celtic grew into the game and then they sort of dictated play. And when that happened, their team sort of backed off. They sat in. And that's where Celtic punished them.
I don't think they were a good defensive team. I
agree.
I fully expect them. Found out's not the right word because they'll be getting into the Champions League. So it's a freebie. It's a free hit now. They'll be getting into the Champions League for that. But I thought I agree with you about Carter Vickers. I mean, straight away, I think it was like twice in the first. That boy ran away, as you say, big, powerful, big monster. That boy ran away from with ease. But I felt Carter Vickers grew into the game, and he handled them very, very well. And obviously the defence around him played well. That night Donovan had a really good game after being questioned beforehand. Well, like you say, everything else, it was more. Once we come to the away game, and we'll see what Joe's saying, but once we come to the away game, it's more I felt we had to change to secure this. I felt we had to change it. I don't think we could. I thought we would have been massively naive to go over there and play the same game, hoping for the same result. Joe, what were you saying?
I'd conveyance a couple of points I was going to make. Like, you made a good point there, Brian, about the physicality of that team. Like, it was very obvious in the first game how physical and how kind of imposing they could be. And I think that's what they took from the first game. That when they into the away leg, they're like, if we physically impose ourselves on this team, they will not last. And that is exactly how it played out. I mean, now listen, we gifted them a lot of shit. Some of the play was terrible in the away leg, but it was. I walked away from that game like some people were going like, "It's done. If we score once, we're through." And I kind of almost bought into that, but I wasn't completely confident walking away. I thought it's a great result and some great goals, and it's easy to get kind of blended by 3 great finishes. But there was something in me going like, there's a lot more to this. There's a lot more to this team. They may not be the greatest team in the world, but physically, and they had a better understanding of each other as well to a certain degree. Your man Horvath is a great guy for linking things together and making things happen. I mean, and just kind of they kind of seem to sort of get busy around him at times, and it just really gave me pause for thought. But to see the way that it played out in the away leg was just like I actually just sat there, and my son walked into the room and he goes, "What?" Because he was across the road watching one of the senior league teams playing with his mates, and he came into the house and he seen the result. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Fucking horror show, mate! Absolute horror show." I don't even know how to explain what happened there.
Were you into the next game already, Joe?
I'm just getting. Well, wait, no. I'm kind of trying to make the point, going like, I mean, that what excited me and made me happy about the first leg, with Celtic, was great, right? But what I also seen that Lask had made me go, there's something more to this team. They can crank it a bit more. And again, I think Brian mentioned the physicality was just, it was just obvious that it was there, and the fitness too. It's just I think they just kind of maybe got bedazzled by us having a really good game and playing well and some great finishes, and also the environment and the atmosphere. And
Well, what I would say about the physicality, Parky they knew, because I totally agree with you, and I don't think anybody can disagree. But Parky they knew, and once we kind of go into the, because there is a point about the physicality that we've spoken about before, and maybe there was an expectancy when Martin O'Neill comes back to the team. But if we move on to the away game, right, as you say, there was a nervousness, but in your heart of heart, did you think, well, we're going to get beat 4-0? I mean, like Brian's already said it. I felt we'd score. I didn't think we'd win the game, but I thought maybe a 3-1 defeat, 2-1 defeat, a 1 each. But I thought we'd score. And in the laws of averages, you go 4-0 up the tie. You've killed them stone dead. You've killed them mentally and everything. But I will come to it. So, what did you do for the game? Just watching the house, guys?
Aye, just in the house, aye. I actually felt as if, see the time that Celtic scored, it was similar to the home leg where they had sort of control of the ball, they moved it across the park, they get a full back up on one side, they come out the other side, get Tierney up the other side, they sort of worked an overload on the left hand side, get the ball cut back, then you have your shot, and you're like, right, you can see how they've scored their 3 goals. So in reflection, that's where the 3 goals sort of came from as well. They sort of moved the ball in the first game I'm talking about, and they moved the ball across the park, and we tried to isolate if it was Durnan or if it was Yang on the other side. They were trying to isolate either one of them to go at the fullbacks, and they'd done that for that wee 5 minutes before the goal. When you were at right, sort of Duran, sorry, Durnan, sorry. We'll call him Durnan for now. Sorry, we'll call him Durnan for now. Duran, they were trying to isolate him, and you could see you're like, right, that's worked. But see, as soon as you lose that first goal, that's when I felt, right, this is where we need the manager and the management team to make a bigger decision and go, right, this is what we're going to do now.
See, so I kind of wrote this down, and I think, I know it's hard to do this, but see, as blame was kind of launched out to everybody, I wanted us to break it down into players, management, stroke coaching, and then board, because I think, I think every one of them's got a role in what happened the other night. Some more than other ones, but so player-wise, first half we looked like we wanted to keep it tight, and some of the defending was haphazard, but it was desperate at times. I mean, the ball's dropping in the box and there's like 3 people swinging legs at it and all that. But it was working. And then you've scored, and then you've impacted the game, and you start looking like the better team. Like who maybe should have scored. I felt they closed down Duran really well, but Yang was getting so much space and time that Yang was actually looking like your best option. The goal, as you say, everybody's talking about the goal we've gave away because it was so needlessly bad. I mean, I was listening to the RGC podcast and Davy Farlow, and Davy Farlow's good. They generally bring Davy Farlow when things have went bad, so fucking he's European expert at this point. But Davy Farlow, and he made the point that he thinks the players almost switched off in terms of, like you said, everyone else are going, we've scored the goal, they need to now score fucking 5 to beat us. Know what I mean? Fuck, that's never going to happen, is it? And that mistake, I mean, there was no need for him to pass the ball there. It was just such a mindless pass.
It's a blind pass he plays. See, as soon as he plays it, I'm sure it's up. Because I'm not even sure if he's trying to play it to McGregor or if he's trying to play it back to a goalie. See, if he's playing it back to a goalie, he should play it sort of safe side. So the worst case scenario, it should go out for a by kick. For a corner. But he plays it right to the middle, where the boys obviously it's been on his blind side. He's no seen him. And the boy's just takes a touch and that's it. But it's a
But
bad.
it just didn't seem a necessary pass at that
No.
point anyway. It just did. To me, it just didn't. And as you, I felt, obviously incorrectly, I felt getting to half time, as you said, getting to half time was huge, and our coaching team would sort it, and we would be all right. But everyone is any level of football you play, you can't let them score the next goal, and we can't let them score it quick.
You see, before the game, if he'd offered the team it's one each at half time,
Yeah.
the team and the management supporters are like, aye, we're taking that. It's 100% we're taking that.
Yeah.
But then it's that point that Joe's on mute.
Sorry, I'm here. I was speaking with somebody in the chat was asking me to put my audio up so that my head's coming across. So I'm just.
You don't listen to me, mate.
Of course, I don't think the fuck does.
Now, what was your thoughts on the first half?
First half, I was quite buoyant watching the first half. And as soon as we got that goal, I was like, I then bought into the idea of going that if we score the first goal in this game,
yeah,
it's probably over. And I was kind of almost going like, I'm a bit tired. I might wrap this at half time and go to bed. I was like, this might be done. I was kind of really like going, this is good. But again, I also wasn't completely sold on how we played. And I
thought we were alright the first half, man.
I would say it was a typical European game in the first half. I think they had probably spells where they dominated, but Celtic had spells as well. So it was probably standard game you would expect.
I felt Yang gave me loads of kind of. I felt positive about Yang. I thought Yang was really making some moves. He was getting making good runs on the wing and trying to get to the byline and trying to cut back, and he played the ball in from McGregor for the goal. I enjoyed that, but again, maybe it's a Celtic in Europe thing. You have that thing in the pit of your stomach going like, just maybe they'll fuck this up.
That wee guy was really, really impressive in the first half as well. Was it Lubicic, was it? And then he scores that. Fucking 48 minutes. Fuck me. I mean, that's a cardinal sin, isn't it? I mean,
here's the thing. Some of their finishing and their goals were great. Do you blame those in Sinisalo?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Joe. We'll kind of go through the game and then we'll double back and we'll get the players and then we'll move on to the manager and what we felt we could have done. But I suppose you've got to date as you go. No, I see. While Sinisalo, we spoke about Sinisalo. When was that, Brian? We spoke about him 3 weeks ago or something.
3 weeks ago.
And we said he's all right. He's no fucking great. He's no
doesn't make big saves,
but he's no winning his games.
I think that's.
I still think that's fair. I mean, he's a bog standard keeper, but the frustrating thing for him is that we've had a litany of really, really good keepers over the last 20 years. And see, once it kind of dips down, it's very, very noticeable. I mean, like, I know we're going, big Fraser Foster saves 2 of them, didn't he?
Aye.
I mean, after Boris saves, I think Joe Hart saves a couple. Maybe. I mean, it's... So, whilst I think the defeat doesn't fall anywhere near his feet, a really good keeper does.
Well, he also saved.
And I think Celtic should have a really good keeper.
He saved the penalty. Obviously, too late in the day to be saving a penalty. Yeah. But
yeah, that was him giving his false hope, wasn't it?
But I mean, I was kind of of the feeling like those long range shots that last were taken, like that they clearly identified what they thought was a weakness. But like, well, if we just have a dig from here, and like, how many shots did they have on goal?
But Joe, I spoke about it earlier. Right, I played defence all my days, right? Obviously a fucking very low level. I played defence, but you expect your midfield to be helping you, and the midfield was piss poor. The midfield was really.
There was
When
periods
centre mids are scoring unchallenged fucking shots, I mean, what do you want the defence to do with that? I mean, it's.
There was when it started to get really hairy, right? When it started it started to dawn on us that around 3-1. There was periods when McGregor was out in the wing essentially, just playing triangles with fucking the defence, and I was like, I don't know what's really going on here. I don't understand where this is supposed to go. And even towards the very end of extra time, but it was kind of like that. There was
This is where we come in.
Where's the fucking panic? Where's the endeavour? Where's the fucking here's a plan. That seemed completely.
We went to 2-1, and you brought off Yang, and you brought off Bauer. Is that correct? Aye, Hatate and Taneki come on.
Which was wild.
Yeah.
In terms of substitutions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does not make any sense. Does not make any sense to me. These subs. Honestly,
I totally get why he was panicking about the middle part, right? So he can see that Celtic are getting overrun in the middle part. He wants to get somebody in beside McGregor. I totally get it, right? So he brought on Hatate. But why did he take off Nigrin, who is one of the...
Was it Nigrin that came off, was it?
Aye. It was Nigrin came off on 63, then it was Yang that came off on 63. So I would say CV2 boys... The CV2 boys that you take off, I think, if you look at last year, I think they were fairly consistent in terms of playing close to 90 minutes in most games that they played, especially Nigrin, because Nigrin was getting kept on the park all the time because he was the main goal scorer. So there's somebody that you can rely on for 90 minutes. And especially Yang, see if you're going to... Anything you can say, you can pick holes in Yang's sort of performances on a weekly basis, but the thing that you can always guarantee is his work rate. He puts a shift in all the time. Sometimes technically he's not as good. Sometimes he can't beat a man. Sometimes his delivery's poor, but he puts a shift in. And I just thought they two coming off. And there's a clip, but if you watch it back, see he puts his bench up and it goes to Nigrin, and you can see Nigrin's face even looking as if to say, me? As if to say, are you sure? Are you sure it's me? I just felt that the wrong decision straight away, and you're like, this is a weird sort of set. Because for me, again, it's easy on sort of hindsight. At that 2-1 point, you're saying, right, what is the plan now? So obviously the plan was
3-1. I was wrong. It was 3-1.
That's 3-1. Aye. So the plan was to get Hatate in beside McGregor and try and make it a 4-2 sort of 3-1. It's a bit. See, fair to real, he's no the best at sitting. He's only ever done it once, and he's done it at Ibrox in the second half. When we were sort of 2-0. McGregor's also wonders. So you get McGregor wondering. You've got. Oh God, again. Right, I'll stay quiet now. It's a use kick on.
Right, Joe.
Yes, I'm here. You hear me? Sorry, I'm still dealing with sound issues here in the background. I don't know what's happened. Where was I? You still hear me? You there? Hello? Scott? You better be fucking about, are you? Hello?
Try that one.
That's better. You there? You're back. Yeah?
Right. So second off, as Brian says, we've made the changes. I don't know. I mean, like none of the changes worked. If we go, and everything seems to be flung at them. So rather than what alternatives should we have done? That's what I ask you. Rather than, because we know that, and obviously he started panicking and we get more defensive and we try to, and then people were, I mean, we've got to talk about Tierney, we've got to talk about CCV, we've got to talk about these guys. We're kind of flinging our hat on and they're constantly breaking down in big games or big parts of the season. maybe that's a discussion for after. But Brian, I bring you back in, or Joe, whatever one you want to jump in. What would you have done differently in terms of subs?
I would have looked at the game and thought to myself, I think we need someone who can hang on to the ball. And
Which is why
drive forward, who can kind of drive forward a bit and have experience and knows how to play these games out. And I would have brought someone like James Forrester.
Are you surprised? I think James Forrest would have come on had CCV and Tierney no had to come off, and Donovan, because Duran done nothing. You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of feel bad for him a bit though, because I mean, at the start of the season, I was kind of like going like, this guy's positioning, like, he doesn't look like he belongs out there, and all he ever seems to want to do is kind of cut in on his left foot, or either try and play somebody into the box, which is all well and good, but I get the feeling that he appears to want to be more in the middle.
No, there's no doubt. I don't know. I kind of disagree with a good bit of that, Joe. Right? That I agree that he wants to be in the middle. He's a striker. There's no two ways about it. But he has played in the wing. I think you know what I'm talking about here. You've played football. Like, say, I've got in my Wayne's team that I've got these wee wingers, and I tell them constantly that if they assist, it's for us it's better than a goal. But they don't see it that way. They'll only start assisting when they score. See, once they've got their goal, they'll assist all day, but they've got to get their goal. And that's what I see in Duran, because he's a striker, he wants goals. But no, the irony is, I don't think Duran done anything wrong when he had the ball. We're going to come to it, in my opinion, and I'm really looking forward to what you've got to say, but they scouted us, they looked at the game before, and they doubled up. They didn't let him breathe. And that's how Yang ended up with so much of the ball the other side, and Duran done nothing. But the irony is, Duran kept, every time with the ball, he was putting a ball through, he was holding it up. He wasn't losing it fucking like willy-nilly like a lot of the rest of them. The injuries in the back line hurt us. I think hurt us big time. Because you would have had the striker off. I think even bringing Osman on and doing something different. I'll tell you what killed me, right? And see Tierney. So I know I'm talking about a World Cup winning Real Madrid player here, right? I know I'm talking this and he's going, oh, fucking batter me for it. But I remember Celtic played Real Madrid at Parkhead, and they beat us 3-0, but in the first half, we gave them a torrid time. But see, every time that the big German defender, the big black fella, fuck, his name just flew out my head there. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Every time he got the ball, he just looked up and launched it. But see, every time he launched it, it landed right where his team were. So whilst he was clearing lines with a purpose. And I watched Kieran Tierney just hit high ball after high ball after high ball, and Big Hole wasn't getting it either nowhere near it or was getting dominated, and he kept doing it. I mean, I honestly, God, I thought Tierney's done well since coming back to Celtic, but that was god awful, like god awful, and we just conceded possession time and time and time again. And
I think she be fair to Tierney. I get what you're saying, but see, I've been in that situation when you've played games and you're under pressure and you're just going long to try and get it away.
Yeah.
But the bit that you need to do then is the back four need to squeeze high up the park. So the back four then have to sprint up 10, 15, 20 yards to allow your midfielders to get up for 10, 15, 20 yards, to allow the forwards to get up, then you push everybody up. But again, it goes back to, I think, as soon as Celtic scored that goal, I think the back line then was thought to themselves, actually, we're going to sit in.
Yeah.
But I don't think the midfielders were thinking that. I think so for me, the distances between your back line and midfielders and forward line was massive.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. So
This
I think
I agree with you. Like you say, as defenders, you kind of always look that way. I felt Tierney could have done better, but there's where we're going to come here, but there's where you start criticising the coaching team. Where's the communication? Where's the people? Because the free rein they had in midfield again. Midfield were losing the ball. Midfield, it's not going to be the first time I'm going to say this, but it was so similar to Kyra in terms of personnel and in terms of what we'd done with the ball. Ironically, we never passed it back as much because we kept losing it and fucking having to run back on ourselves instead of sitting in and playing the. It was just, I don't know, man. It was. I felt after they scored the second, we literally shat the bed, and then the third was all round panic. The whole team panic. There was nobody in there. It was something I wanted to ask you, Brian. Right, so see when Celtic get battered off Borussia Dortmund, I wondered where was the on-pitch leadership. I think me and you might have spoken about it. I wondered where the on-pitch, the guys who kind of, now the senior guys in the team pull each other together and go, right, next 20 minutes, we're letting fuck all go, right? We're just going to do it. And I know it's easier said than done when you're up against class players, and if you go and walk back and watch that game, we never get a fucking smidgen of luck in that game either. Whereas Martinelli was back in, and Martinelli would be that old school head of there's got to be on-pitch leadership, there's got to be on-pitch decisions being made. And I didn't feel, I just don't know, I'm starting to doubt, see the guys who have been really good for us, start to doubt them in terms of the real level they're at, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I was ordering the show.
I know, it's funny to say, because Frank McAvaney this week on his, on the Let's Be Frank podcast said very much the same thing. But he said, seeing a situation like that, he said, when I was playing, he goes, Roy Aitken would pull us all together and go to each person and go, no more. Fucking no more. Exactly. One goal, not another fucking goal.
Yeah.
And pull together and go, and he's great.
Nobody fucking
no more.
Where's that?
I need to bulky to anybody.
No, nobody's fucking. Well, you think about it. Fucking.
I think that, and again, this is when you sort of touch on the board a wee bit. I would say, if you look back in the game when it's when they're 3-1 up, I think Big Casper, who's still really high up the park, Yang and Duran are still very wide. The three boys in the middle of the park are spread out. But if you ask any,
still fucking overlapping, Brian.
The fullbacks are still overlapping. But then if you're asking a manager saying you're 4-3 up, with 25 minutes to go, is it? About 25? No. Oh, 30 minutes to go. Something like that, about 30 minutes to go. So what do you want to do? Well, basically you want sort of 10 people behind the ball. You want Big Casper to sort of drop off the game and leave your centre-halves on it. You want your three midfielders to be narrow. You want your two wide boys to tuck in. You want your fullbacks to tuck in beside your centre-halves. And you want them to sort of force them to go long. Whereas actually we were forcing them just to go, sort of play through us, because we were still at times pressing, but we're pressing in ones and twos. And again, this goes back to the point, I don't think, and this is where I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I don't think we've had the time to work on who presses and who doesn't. There was a clip going about where second half in there, or was it the first half actually, and Lass are going down their right hand side, and we board goes out to the left and presses. I think Nygren's practically the second centre forward, and McGregor's standing in the middle of the park himself. Whereas if you go back to last season, it's Engels would have been standing beside him. So I don't think they've got that sort of. I don't think they've got that connection yet, where they know who's the trigger to go and press. Because they seem to press in ones and twos, and they want to press in as a team. And that created all the gaps between your back line, your middles, and your forwards. And that's how they were just able to play through Celtic so often.
And that's
where
where confidence grew as well, Brad. I think that sort of those gaps in that space, they just went fuck. That's where the shots came from and the crosses came from, and that's where in that space you're mentioning, like that kind of gap, like that's where Horvath was just playing balls off people, taking it and making things happen, and just dragging players left and right. You're going like fuck. And I think, but it was offered up to them.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But see, Scott, to go back to the point you're saying, seeing games when come the end of the season, when they're in a similar situation or a semi-finals or something like that, and they've been whatever's happened, I would fully imagine that they will be well drilled then to go, actually, we're going to sit in for 5 minutes and we're going to let their centre halves have it.
Mm-hmm.
And they can pass the ball about for 5 minutes and we'll just hold our shape. Because they've done it, if you think the game, it was away in Italy last year, wasn't it? And was it Bologna? No, so it wasn't Bologna. Who was the game? It was under Rodgers.
2-2.
Aye, where they just basically, and they defended well and they got a good shape and they were compact.
The man doing, aye.
A man doing, where is it? Yesterday, on Tuesday, they were so disjointed that they were still at 4-3. You're saying just get together, and I think that's the point you're making. Probably, I can imagine McGregor, who's quite, if you watch him when you go to the games, he is very vocal at the side of the park, but he's very vocal. It's on the park, but you've still got people who are wandering about. You've still got players who are still trying to score, who are still trying to overlap, and you're saying just manage your game. Yeah. And this is the bit I go to see with Tierney and Donovan. It's going to do McCramp and waving across, which is a horrible, horrible thing to see, by the way. Like, see that waving, like, it's going to take me off. You're like, come on, it's a Champions League qualifier.
Yeah.
Come on, let's play the game. It's very need to manage. It's very need to manage their energy to make sure that they're not going to do me.
I was watching the open goal live thing today. It popped up, and in Ferry was very critical of the same thing, and they were citing the boy Miller for Hearts, the Foley and Knight. He was kind of playing through and ended up going to take a penalty and stuff like that. And they were kind of going, well, what's the script? I mean, if they boys playing Saturday, then fucking shame on them. Well, you know yourself, we've spoken about it before, Joe, haven't we, that stress can drain your muscles and drain your body. You'd be the fittest guy in the fucking world, but if you're stressed out about the situation you're in, you'll find yourself fucking knackered after minutes. And we definitely shat the bed, didn't we? We definitely fucking, the worries set in, and that scares me. I don't know. I mean, is the Champions League, is it that be all and end all in the squad, or was it because of the way last season, or did the players not even think about that? Because last season must have been a dirge to play for with them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I agree with you. As a fucking normal punter, I agree with you. I'm sitting there going, how are you all getting crap? How can you not push through? I mean, big fucking who push through, but the fact is you'd have took him off anyway, wouldn't you? Had you not have to take Tierney and the Donovan off, you'd have took him off. Like I said, I always like I always liked a big man, wee man sub as well, that you stick a big boy up, you let him fucking rattle into him, and then you bring the wee guy in to run the fucking legs. Do you know what I mean? I think that's brilliant. That is the way, if you're only going to play with one man up top, and Osman would have been a good one. But then I suppose we're now going on to Martin O'Neill, and I think Martin O'Neill takes, we've already spoke about it, I think Martin O'Neill takes a fucking massive proportion of the fucking dairy for what happened. The players obviously, but I think I need to know what was agreed at half time. What was the thinking? Was there no plan of attack in situations? I mean, I appreciate you don't want to get and go, don't lose a goal, don't lose a goal, don't lose a goal, and then you lose a goal. I dare say it's all positive, but
see, because when they lost the second goal, when they lost the second goal, I was thinking that Celtic was going to go to a back three. I thought they're going to bring on Scales. They'll go Scales, Trusty, and Carter Vickers. Sort of Trusty will give you your sort of protection. You have Tierney, sort of Donovan or Yang or whoever in your wing back areas, and you'll go with a striker and somebody off, and you'll just make it compact. And I was amazed that he didn't do that. Obviously, then I sort of get why he didn't, because he probably knows that Tierney's not going to last. In 60 minutes, he's waving about. Then you've got Donovan doing that, and you've got Carter Vickers doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was crying out. For me, that would have made sense to go, right, we'll go back 3, we'll get some height in the team, because we're going to be under pressure. As soon as he scored that third goal, it should have been, or the second goal, sorry, it should have been a case of, right, let's protect what we've got, but still keep 2 people up the park, or a striker and a number 10 at least. Then you can still get up the park. But as I said, it was. I think in reflection, I would love to. Obviously, you would never hear this, but I'm sure the manager, when he reflects back on it, I'm sure he would approach it. He would approach it in a different way.
Yeah, definite. It was the look of fucking bewilderment on the bench as things were going. I mean, they were standing there with a bottle of water, looking on the pitch the same way I would. Fuck me. I remember the first ever game I took as an amateur coach. I got launched in after the fucking manager wrapped it, and I had 2 players sent off. And honestly, fuck, I stood there on the side, not a clue what to do. I was like, what the fuck now? But I don't know. I think Martin O'Neill, as you say, I think Martin O'Neill, he got low drying, including, I mean, I suggested to you that me and Johnny talked about Negrin no starting the game. But when you go 1-0 up in the first half, I even said to the missus, I was like, well, shows you I know fuck all. We definitely, the fact that we don't have a defensive-minded player for such circumstances is kind of an indictment of the club, isn't it? Really?
But I mean, see after that second goal, Brian, I mean, part of it was like going, let's try and bore the fuck out of this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Let's bore the crowd here and play the most pedestrian defensive fucking kind of football we could possibly come up with.
And I think that's where I was expecting sort of Celtic to go, right, we're going to put all our players behind the ball, and we're going to leave your centre halves on it.
Huh?
It's the same as when if St Mirren come to Parkhead, or probably no Falkirk, they come and play at Parkhead, but some of the lower league teams have come to Parkhead, they sit off, and how many times have you watched it and Celtic playing at Parkhead and you've said, actually the 2 centre halves I've had the most touches on the ball, and they just go from side to side. That's what I was expecting. See, when they scored the second goal, I was like, right, just sit in now and just make it a boring game. Every free kick, you go down. If somebody gets injured, then you stay down for 5 minutes. There's the subs are delayed. You always just manage your game out. But it's as if Celtic when it was 4-1, 4-2, Celtic's like, right, we'll try and score a 5th and a 6th. And you're like, no.
Like the polar opposite basically happened. Like there was like at one point I was like, has everybody forgotten how to keep the ball? Because they just couldn't hang on to the ball. I was like, what happened?
But then weirdly, if you once it went into extra time, and they started passing the ball about in the first 5 or 10 minutes in extra time, and you're like, what the fuck's that? It's why do you not do that in the second half? Oh.
It was kind of one of those moments going like, I am frustrated, but I am also too stunned to be angry enough to express that. I mean, it was sitting there going like, I can't believe this is fucking going on.
I think it is one of these sort of disjointed games, and obviously last year was a real sore one, but see, because it was nothing each over the 2 games, and you were like, actually Celtic have not played that well, and you're like, right, fine, fair enough. But see, because you played a qualifier and you've scored 4 goals and you've still went out, you're sort of saying, why? How the fuck is that happening?
But have you heard anything from their camp? And I suppose the one allows them to be, but they seem to think we were mega lucky in the first leg, and they knew that our manager was just going to turn up and do the same thing. And I think that's scandalous. I do think that's scandalous. Martin O'Neill deserves so much criticism for what happened the other night. And I know we went a goal up, but I would rather know when a goal up went fucking through. And he could have set up tighter. He could have set up to close off that midfield, because I didn't think their wingers were particularly great. They seem to get loads and loads of spaces. We look fucked, but their game came for the midfield, and we all saw it. We all saw it last week. They were running through our midfield with such ease that if we closed that hole off, they would almost have just went long, and that's where Trusty then comes into his game, didn't he? Because if the ball's in the deck, Trusty fucking pony, which he showed again. Trusty goes for fucking sublime and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel Martin, I mean, like, we talked about Duran. They knew Duran had all this time last week and he killed them. So they stuck two guys on it and left Yang, and then we take Yang off. Who somebody just kept Gallagher there. Yang was our better player. That Yang definitely was our best player. I mean, McGregor gets pass marks, but let's be honest. In the cold light of day, McGregor was shit, if we be honest. Because and to bring on Tanecki in that situation,
mind blown.
It's wild.
Wild.
And I would be a pro Tanecki guy, but in that situation, I would have brought the £6 million fucking pound player on. Or
I'm
even
I'm done with Tanecki. I think I'm done with Tanecki. Like, I mean, it's one-dimensional stuff. Like,
Joe, it was appalling how he played. It was appalling.
Like,
absolutely. And as we get to the end of the game, right? So somebody said to me, "Do you think Murray could have played him offside?" And I'm going, see, in fairness to Murray, right? I probably should have, but see the way we were defending at that point, it was even worse in the first half. We were literally just get that boy fuck. I'm talking about fucking. I'm talking about Real Madrid defenders launching it up to the forwards who's fucking bringing it down and starting attacks. We were kicking it the way we were facing, getting this ball out the box. And for a team that spent fucking so much in that squad to be doing that in one hand is a fucking shambles. For us to have a fucking legend in Sean Maloney who's fucking all this, for us to be doing that is garbage.
yeah.
So I don't really blame Murray. Because
I think the least of our worries is Dane Murray holding the line for that.
Ironically, Dane
as
Murray's
frustrating
done all
as it is to see, like, that's the least of the problems.
I think, see, be fair, I know this sounds really bad. I actually thought Dane Murray done all right. He
done all right.
came on, he won headers, he was aggressive, but it was one step. But you have to remember, we're hoping for an offside, and I think it was like 6 yards out, something like that. So it's not as if he's dropped deep for about 25 yards out, and he's not read the line with everybody else. I think he's tracked the boy at the back.
There's a lot more hope involved in that situation, isn't there, than anything else.
And then
once
you go to the extra
time,
once you go to the extra time, does anybody? It's a sad day, but you're hoping for penalties. Fucking that's.
But see, weirdly, Scott, I thought Celtic started the extra time all right.
Yeah.
And I thought they passed the ball about all right in the first period, extra time, but then the first 7 or 8 minutes they were sort.
No, crack on. Well,
The first 7 or 8 minutes they were sort of passing the boot, going to side, and you're like that. Right, they found their rhythm again, but then you go, actually, there's nobody on the park now who's fit enough or who's got a spark about them, like, to go and create something.
To inject something into this, Yeah.
Because the team looked absolutely sort of dead on their feet. So you've got, obviously, Tierney went off, you've got Donovan went off, you've got Carter Vickers, he was wanting to go off after about 70 minutes. I seen McGregor pull up, you seen Big Casper sort of pulling up with cramp. You know, oh my God, that's nearly 4 or 5 years of your 10 outfield players who are all struggling.
Here, explain this. How does the 6th sub work? Is because he couldn't continue? They have to let it happen?
I mean, like, see, be honest, there's Vickers fucking pulling up when he does. By the way, I think we never spoke about. Know that I thought the ref was like,
Seriously?
never done us any favour. See when that the big forward fucking rattled Donovan in the corner, and then he's like, what you doing? What you doing? See, no booting him, man. That was massive. Because he
It's
had...
not a booting. It's not a booting.
Mate, fucking
No a
hell.
booting, Scott.
Fucking right. I thought the
That's a
ref was
freebie.
I
That's a
thought the ref
freebie.
was really bad.
That's a freebie. If you're a forward and you're running in that corner and the fullback's taking that long, it's a free hit.
But there you go. It's a free hit. It's a booting,
It's a
mate.
free hit.
In this day and age, it's a fucking booting. But and then we come to the last goal. I mean, McCowan's on at this stage. He's been on for a bit. He's done absolutely fuck all. And I'm not going to go on the lump on because that would be a kind of... I don't like the way people have turned on McGregor before, but that was scandalous. Fucking scandalous, man. Fucking hell. How much time did they think he had? That's fucking wild, man.
See what I would say about McCowan, right? And I've played games like this where, see, everything he done, it was wrong. See when he was...
Yeah.
See when he had time, he was playing it quick. When he should have played it quick for a goal, then he sort of stays on it. When he was crossing it in, he's going to get it by the first man. He looked as if he was slow to react. It was just one of the games where he was just always a step or two behind. And I felt bad for him actually because
that caused some damage though. That his inability to kind of sense somebody behind him or somebody near him coming in for the ball really damaged the entire game.
You've got a big boy up front who can't fucking move, and you've got a guy in midfield that really you didn't want to pass the fucking body. But I mean, he gets the ball. I just can't.
You're screaming at the TV. See on that on the goal where he's dispossessed and scored. You're screaming at the TV before the guy gets to him. Fucking release the ball! Release the ball! There's a guy in front of you. Release the ball, and it happens, and you go, "Am I a fucking psychic? Is this a premonition? I've fucking seen this coming."
It was one of the horrible
subs, right? See Hattati. But it's madness, right? You've bombed out Ralston for the whole of this season, and then you've had to bring him in. You've brought Hattati on, who you've already spoke about it. We're all ready for him to beat it. McCowan has kind of been bombed out for a good bit as well. He's not being used. And you've spent £6 million on a winger. I appreciate he's no fit, but he's a £6 million winger. And you're bringing on Tanecki, who at this stage we all know is bang average at best. And then Scales coming on at left back. And it's hard to shout at Scales, but Scales went into midfield, pushed into midfield, and gave the ball away repeatedly. And I know he wasn't on to be a midfielder, but fuck me, Scales as well. Somebody says defence don't really get the blame. I've been saying that all night. I think the midfield carry fucking a massive. The midfield carry a massive part of the can, but I put it on the coach and I put it on the manager and the coaching team. To be honest, there was no plan. There was no tact. And when we appointed Martin O'Neill, I felt we were getting a great man manager in a tactical age. And I feel if you're going to do that, you've got to supply him with a big bunch of players who'll all play for him. You can't, I mean, to the point, and then this kind of comes onto the board thing as well. Well, by the way, and my last thing before we kind of shift off, they've scored, right? So we're all fucking sitting crestfallen, and there's 5 minutes to go before fucking full time. And we're passing the ball about in front of their defence and no doing anything. No putting Dane Murray up top. No doing fucking anything to fucking shake things up. We never got a ball in the box. We never got a ball down the line. We were passing, and then we'd lose it. And I could have smashed my fucking telly up, man. I was fucking... That was horrendous, man. Horrendous to see... We're going out of the Champions League and we turn back into that same fucking... At least we carried that last year. We knew we had penalties. but it was the same bollocks, man. Fucking terrible. I'm angrier than I was then. So, a point I wanted to make, right? So, here's the team that finished the game against Kairat last year, right? So we had Schmeichel in nets. This year we had Sinisalo. We had Ralston at right back. We had Scales in the team. We had Murray playing. Vickers finished the game last year. We had Trusty playing. We had McGregor playing. McGregor played. We had McCowan in midfield. We had Negrin finished the game last year, but he replaced Hatati. And we had Ida who we had Engels for Taneki, and obviously Duran for Maeda. But as we go to supplying the manager with what he fucking needs, the left back situation is a fucking scandal. The defensive midfielder situation is a fucking scandal. And Martin O'Neill, and I believe Martin O'Neill has made the decision because he's not really been given a choice. But for us not to review our defence getting into this season and saying you're happy with your defence, I think it's fucking wild as well. And that does come down to the board. It really, really does. I mean, ultimately, it's no far off last season in terms of that team should have done better. But we aren't helping ourselves. We really, really know we're half changing every fucking manager every summer. Honestly, fuck. Opinions.
Do you remember a few weeks ago we were kind of fucking, well, I was maybe going a bit over the top about what the Celtic board had done and was spending money and stuff. I think kind of what I sense now is they just went like, throw a few quid around, shut them the fuck up, and hopefully it'll work out. And I don't think anything's really changed that much. I don't think any sort of, respect or gravitas of Martin O'Neill has really kind of changed that. Made it up the kind of, the outlay financially, but again, the market kind of dictates that at the end of the day. It's got fuck all to do with, whether you want to spend the money or not, you have to spend the money. And I feel like at this point, we've kind of had the wool pulled in a wee bit, and we kind of believed it. It's kind of like, give them nothing and then suddenly flood them, and give them as much as you can, and they'll be happy with that. And I kind of feel a wee bit even more pissed off now than I felt fucking last season, to be honest with you. I feel like, we've been patronised to a degree when it comes to that. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, we'll come to that because I really don't want to go over old ground because we have fucking said a load of the same stuff, but it does need saying. But Brian, you offered this a wee bit of fucking shining light that you think it's just a bit early. But what's your thoughts on basically what Marcel and Joe said?
I know I can. So what I would say is, I think the club has definitely signed a better standard of players. Right, I think that's apparent with the three boys that have brought in, 100%. Where it's caused problems for the qualifiers is when you have 2 or 3 bad windows previously, then it's very hard to sort of make that up in one window. So the examples that you're speaking about in terms of the left back, in terms of the goalkeeper, in terms of defensive midfielder, there's 3 players that we've known about probably since the start of this year that we're probably going to leave. In terms of the left back, they must have known, I know they were going to sign the boy, who was it again, the Sarachi. The goalkeeper they knew about, and they must have known, as soon as Notts Forest make a bid, they must have known, they've had a conversation with Engels, and he's like, right, I'm going in the summer. But try to sign that number of players, the club obviously struggle with. The club can't operate on that level of signing maybe 5-6 players, all in the region of maybe between 5 and 10 million, which it seems to be is what they want to do. So I think that's where they've struggled. So on one hand, I do agree with Joe that they have sort of raised their levels in terms of the standard of player brought in, which is good. But on the other hand, that's because of they've needed to because
Previous,
they
yeah,
missed
yeah.
sort of 2 windows for signing a centre forward, so they've had to go over the top and sign a centre forward. But trying to make up for 2 or 3 sort of really bad windows is impossible to do in one window. And I think that's why you look at it just now, and that's why people like Ralston were kept. That's why McCowan was kept. That's why Forrest was kept, because they know they can't make up 2 or 3 bad windows in one window, and they need
No,
the guys.
That's a good point, Brian.
I think-
I never really thought about it like that. In fairness, like I mean, in famous Joe analogies, it's a bit like using cheap Lego and good Lego and trying to make them build a Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean?
Aye.
What the fuck?
Oh, who's talking about Lego?
You know what I'm like, Scott. Joe analogies.
Oh, what? Fucking hell. That's upset me more than the result.
I knew, because you're a Star Wars nut. That's why I knew it was going to annoy you.
No, but see, right, so again, this is going to be, so I come up with a theory, Brian, right? And I said to the boys last week, and it's a theory based on what we've seen, right? And I dare say there's a whole load of things that I don't know. Well, I'd say the fucking vast majority of things I don't know about, but I think this board of directors was taken in by Paul Tisdale, and we went boys to the wall at Paul Tisdale, and it's resulted in all the windows under him and the Rodgers thing and all that. It's been a kind of, I think we've been mugged off by him, and Martin O'Neill walked in the door, and Martin O'Neill bit by bit is trying to fix it, right? Which, however annoyed I am by Martin O'Neill, the fact that we are going out and spending better dough and a better standard of player, I can appreciate that. What we've been speaking about for weeks is there's easy wins out there. Now, I think the boy Ferry would have been worth signing. The fullback. I think he would have covered something we needed. He would have wanted to come to us. He wouldn't have been on massive dough by any stretch. I think he could have just have come in and he would have helped the situation on Tuesday night immeasurably just by being there. The fact that we had to put Scales at left back fucking hurts everything. So that seemed to me a free hit. The fucking fullback. I understand the centre mid one is a different kettle of Hades. We're linked with this boy for Hibs, right? And he ended up having a really, really bad game last night. But every time he's looked apart. What is it? Chawani in it? Miguel Chawa.
I thought it was the other one. I thought it was a Scottish boy. Is it Mill? No. Who's the Scottish boy? That came from Dundee.
What are you talking about?
If he Hibs. Aye.
For Hibs?
Aye. Who was it?
No.
If I looked at him in the summer, not the summer, in January, is it Mulligan?
Aye, but Mulligan's not that defensive player, is he?
I think he's better box to box. I think he'd do it.
But anyway, I think that's a different one.
I'll give you another one, just before you go on, Scott. The boy Calvin Miller. Supposedly that was all done.
Calvin Miller's another one, aye.
I suppose that was all done and dusted in January when Celtic pulled out at the very last minute and signed Balakisha instead.
Well, that was last summer, aye. But so the midfield one, I kind of gave you, but we knew we needed this, and it seemed Martin O'Neill would give up on Hatate. So if you gave up on Hatate, because there's no doubt that he's playing Hatate because he feels he's got to.
Aye, of course.
Right?
He's trying to sell him as well.
Exactly, we're trying to punt him, we're trying to kind of get something for him. I keep reading rumours, but there just seem to be free hits out there for Celtic to get things done. I just, it frustrates me, and I think the board, this whole we've got to get guys out before we get guys in thing is infuriating. It's fucking infuriating because, let's be honest about it, fucking Lask, when you're 4 goals up at one point, and fucking Kyrat have put us out of the Champions League, and cost them 80 million. I mean, it's fucking madness. It's genuine madness. And as I say, I dare say what Celtic have went, right, well, I mean, you think the amount of money we've wasted in defenders the last fucking 3 years? I mean, it's just, I don't know. The board aren't getting away. The board aren't getting away with this. The board are as culpable as the rest of them. I think Martin O'Neill takes a fucking heavy blame. The players deserve a fucking shitload of the blame, but this is, I honestly think it's a devastating one.
I think I was saying to Joe earlier, I think it's a weird one, 'cause I think it's a sorer one than last year.
Because of the goals. Because you're in a better situation. You've got it fucking game management. You go through.
It's your 4-0 up with, what's that, sort of 55 minutes to go or something? Sort of 60 minutes to go.
So we've scored in 23, aye. So what fucking?
Let me ask you this, Brian. As a man that's played the game, right? Have you ever seen or been involved in an arse collapse like that?
I've been involved in games where you're going fine and all of a sudden just everything goes.
Really?
And you can't stop the game, you can't get a grip of the game because everything that we're doing is always like 2 steps ahead. But that's the point where you sort of need people to manage a game, and at that level, see if that was who are we talking about? See if that's a sort of Mourinho. See if that's Real Madrid, right? And I know it would never happen to Real Madrid, but see if that's a Mourinho team. If that game would have been stopped about 15 times with injuries.
Yeah.
Just to kind of force some sort of reset.
Just kill the game. Aye.
Guys diving, guys
would have slowed it down. Slowing there the ball. The bench would have been up. They'd have been complaining. The referees had been there talking to the bench. He would have just killed the game, slow the game down.
Make everything difficult.
Just make everything difficult. Just leave their poor players on the ball, and we'll man mark their good players, and we'll just kill the game. If there's a throw in, there'll be wee fouls, there'll be wee nudges.
Yeah.
I thought Celtic were really naive.
The wee boy in midfield, I'd have stuck somebody on him for 10 minutes in that second half and just trip him and kick him. Just get him out of the game. Get him frustrated, break the game up. But these are things that, fuck me, these boys must have done this a million times.
I know, but you mentioned naive, but also this is going to sound like an excuse, but like this sort of, compulsion to entertain us and live up to what it is, we believe they were capable of from the first leg, and that's sort of like maybe a sort of confidence that was, gained from that first game. Maybe it was again, naive to believe that and live into that and think that was going to kind of follow through rather than just be in the moment and be present and go, this is what we're dealing with, this is how we deal with it. There seemed to be an almost like, if we just do what we do, it will work out okay. And that really fucking blew up in their face.
But Joe, see Celtic, right? If we think about Celtic, the highest profile manager we've ever had is Brendan Rodgers, right? I don't think we'll get anybody of the profile of him ever again, ever at Celtic. And he was a very, very tactical manager. By all accounts, his due diligence and stuff was really, really good. But see, when it comes to Celtic, you realise that if you just keep your guys in top form, you'll beat the vast majority of teams. You don't need to overanalyse Scottish football. You'll win it. And I said it earlier on, Martin O'Neill probably at that point as well. And there'll be the odd game like Dundee United where things don't work. But in general, a Celtic team, just by player-wise, should be able to beat everybody in Scotland. Just by player-wise. Not even forgetting tactics and everything. But then we come to Europe and we were tactically beat, I felt, on Tuesday night. And what worries me was we weren't tactically aware at any point to stop that. Now going ahead, I'd like for all yous to all fucking go tomorrow and have a rage. You know me, I'm a supporter of the collective because I was part of it, but I do not want protest. Me personally, I think they might need to, but I just don't want to get. I want to see Celtic to go away, to come back. I felt, see on Wednesday, if Celtic had anything about them, they'd have went and got 2 or 3 signings that helped the team.
Yeah.
And lift everybody. But they didn't, and they don't see, and you know we're going to be waiting until fucking Wednesday before we do anything. And Wednesday, we've got to register a Europa League squad, and we're playing Aberdeen on Wednesday night. You know this is going to happen. This is scandalous. And then the fact that Neil Lennon's talking about, you'll have a Champions League list of players and a Europa. And Martin O'Neill kind of dismissed that today, but going by the fact that we seem to be missing out all the guys who were all shooting in, maybe it's true. So my worry is, I would like us to go to Europa League and get a proper good goal, because I think this is a very, we're going to come to that, but I think this is a very winnable fucking set of fixtures we've got, and we need to get all the shite out now. We need to get our anger and then get ourselves back in the game. But the board need to do their part. They need to fucking build us. And I am now starting to doubt Martin O'Neill as that manager. And I mean, Stuttgart last year. Joe, is anybody hearing us?
Yeah, I'm here. Huh?
Right.
I can hear you. A few comments. So I don't know. I hate to say it, but I'm starting to doubt Martin O'Neill. I'm starting to doubt him at this stage. And the thing is, ironically, how fucking bad's this? But you still expect us to win the league. I mean, we'll come to fucking everything else that's going on, but I would like to think we'd have some gumption of going into Europa League and fucking trying, especially after this. They fucking always, didn't they? I think it really depends on the standard of player that are going to sign in. And if it is that sort of list for Champions League and sort of list for Europa League, I think if that's an actual thing, then it could be interesting to understand what their calibre of player is for the Champions League and what their calibre of player is for the Europa League.
Well, the thing is, the 2 guys who've signed have got pedigree in the Champions League. See all the other guys are signing. Right, see the Canadian boy, right? Canadian international, what's his name? Nico Seeger, is it? That guy's playing with Hajduk Split. Hajduk Split are fucking rotten. Like, genuinely rotten. I watched them live. I was fucking on Split and I watched them. I know it was a while ago, but they're fucking terrible. And I've got because a guy I know is a fan of them, I've got their alarm, I've got their games pop up on my phone, and every week they fucking struggle to win games. And this guy's not a Champions League player. So how the fuck are we saying, we can't get him now because we're not in the Champions League? He's not in the fucking Champions League. This other guy, Mamic, is it? He's going to fucking a team I've never heard of, Krum in Turkey. Right, I've not heard of him. And he's coming for Slovan Liberec. Pardon me, is Slovan Liberec a fucking Champions League? How are we not getting these guys? My head's fucking lost with it. Honest to God. I don't get it. Sound like a fucking demon man.
But it's good to get it out, Scott, though. It's good to get it out. You have to get it out. I mean,
Is it?
yeah, you have to get it out. I mean, well, it'll manifest itself somewhere else in your life and you'll fucking wind up shouting at one of your kids or something, or your wife. I mean,
oh, Joe, I'm fucking. We're playing it bigger at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're fucking up at 6:30 in the morning. Somebody's getting it tomorrow morning.
I've got a 10 a.m. kickoff fucking with the coach that fucking sacked me. Fuck's sake, tomorrow morning. Fuck's sake, up a road.
Joe, fuck up.
You do win. Because you know what you're doing, Scott, and I don't.
Brian, you heard that? Did you hear that? I know what I'm doing.
I no comment. That's a question. No comment.
Most of the time, I'd say. Most of the time.
So what's your starting team for tomorrow then?
Right, we're not at that yet. We're not at that yet.
I feel as if I'm there now. I feel as if I'm there.
Right.
I can't speak about the boat.
Right, so that's the game, right? So we're in the Europa League. So the draw was today, and we have got. Wait till I get it up in front of me.
We've got Ferencváros.
Wait now, chill yourself out, Joe. Right, so we've got.
That's the only team I can say.
Marseille at home. We've got Marseille at home. We've got Benfica away. We've got Besiktas at home. Celta Vigo at home. We have Union Saint-Gilloise away. We have Ferencváros at home. We have Omonia of Nicosia away. We've got Torrens away. Now, if we kind of fly through, right, so obviously Marseille's a big one. Is it, right, just your general, I'll go through, Joe, you first. That set of fixtures, Celtic have brought in 2, maybe 3 new players who supplement the team, never mind the squad, who kind of come in and fight for a place in the team. How are you feeling about these fixtures?
Because of the players, or in general, like?
No, just in general. I mean,
The Marseille one is the tastiest looking one because, well, mainly because there's a boy lives in the corner of me. He's a Marseille fan. He's French, right? And I can fucking get into him now. I mean, but it's hard to kind of say because you look at some of those and go, you look at Turin's, you think like, well, that seems like a gimme, right? Beat them, right? Benfica, that's a challenge. Marseille's a challenge. Besiktas, I think it's more of a challenge than people think it is. Union Saint, don't know much about them. Celta Vigo, you'd imagine that's going to be tough enough. Ferencváros, I think they're, we've beaten them before, but they were also kind of a wee bit underrated. I don't feel massively confident, and I think people kind of get a wee bit sort of, lost in the fact that, well, it's not the Champions League, so it's a wee bit easier, and I don't buy into any of that shit. I think it's nonsense. I think this is as difficult as we're going to probably get, and I think, unless we can gear up as a club and as a team and be ready to be one of the better teams in this sort of run of games, it could well be a struggle. Like, that's just how I feel right now. That could change next fucking Thursday. I mean, if we go out against Falkirk at the weekend and fucking turn it on, and it all looks great, my opinion may be different. But I just don't think, at this point, that Europe is any kind of confidence-boosting experience. It's more of a dicebreaker, more of a crapshoot sometimes.
Fuck me. Right, Brian?
I would just say the games just sort of cry out the Europa League. There's nobody who really jumps out and you go, that's a massive game. There's a few teams in there you go, actually, I'm not sure what they're like. But again, I just go in with I'm not confident, no. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I'm not confident. It sort of depends at what point. It's how we go into those games in terms of the squad and the strength and depth. Because I think that's where, for whatever reason, and again, there's a whole conversation that you could have about this whole Thursday-Sunday game that all players across all countries seem to struggle with. And it'll be interesting to see how the squad performs at that. Obviously, Marseille is the one that you look at and you go, right, that's a biggie. Obviously, Benfica was going to be a hard game, but as I said, Celtic away from home in Europe, I'm never confident at all. And you're probably still looking at what, sort of 10, 12 points to qualify? Sort of somewhere in that region. But they could well turn up for games and perform. Because they're signing players, the 3 players I've brought in so far are of a standard who could easily could walk into any of these teams. But have you got that strength and depth in the squad? That's a bit that you need.
I'm not confident nor unconfident. I'm more curious than anything else.
That's probably the best I have the same as usual. I'm more curious. I'm curious to how this goes. Obviously, Scott's is super confident, and he's written off about 4 of 8 teams just saying they're getting hammered.
We are bombing Scott out the fucks.
No, I'm just honest to God. Right, so Benfica aside, right? Benfica, I've wrote that game off, right? Marseille are one of the biggest fucking up and down clubs going. They should be one of the hardest ones. They're the pot one team. It's going to be tough and tough. But if we can get ourselves sorted, obviously for Tuesday night we're going to get hammered in fucking every game. But Parkhead's a different kettle of Hades. Marseille at home. Hopefully we've done enough signing wise that everybody's kind of trying to get back in the horse. Right, Benfica away is what it is. As I say, I've fucking been all there 3 times, watched us get beat 3 times, so I'm fucking no. Besiktas, the fact we're playing them at home, I fucking watched Turkish teams get beat half of fuck. I mean, the amount of money that's spent by Turkish teams and what you get for them is wild. Celta Vigo, a La Liga team, you've got them at home. It's a good tie for us if you're going to play the La Liga team. Union Saint-Gilloise, I like you say, Joe, I don't really know, right? So, I don't know. I am pretty certain they're not going to play their games at their home stadium because their home stadium's tiny. Ferencváros, they've had some really good results. They look like a club that's kind of sorting itself out. Be a tough home game as well. You've got to think we're beating Ammonia. You've got to go there thinking you're going to beat them. Neil Lennon fucking managed them recently. So did John Carver. Fuck me. And then this Torrens mob are a second division Portuguese team who play in a fucking 2,000 people stadium. I know they're going to move to this. So wait a minute, I've got it in front of me here. Right, so the Torrens will play the Europa League at the municipal stadium in Lira, 90 minutes long, and it'll hold 24,000. So they're going to be playing at a municipal stadium. I don't know how many home fans this fucking mob have got. I don't, honest to God, see as this fucking team is gone. Right, if we can improve, which I think we've got to think we're going to get better as the season goes. I would hope so, rather than worse. But I honest to God think, I was listening to another podcast, who was it, the 90 Minute Cynic, and they'd done 3 dummy Champions League draws, and Mars collapsed at every one of them. Every one of them, I was like, this doesn't sound like fun. Really doesn't. The teams we were drawing with. And see the new, Brian, you're saying I need it. Why no? Why fucking no get that? See if we go and get the guys we need for the positions we need. I'm fucking, this be looking at top 8. Honest to God, I just think, I'm not writing anybody off in arrogance, especially after Tuesday night, but I've seen the majority of them, and I think we can. I don't think we should be shiting ourselves in for any of the teams, to be honest.
I don't think we'll be shiting ourselves, but I think as we kick into the season, sort of depending on how the next couple of weeks go in terms of the league season, if there's a gap created, a significant gap created, which it could well be, then it could be all focus on actually go and have a right good run at it and go and see how far he can go in the Europa League. But it really depends on the quality of player that's going to be brought in. And obviously we're sitting on the Friday night. It's what we've got until Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Transfer window
We've got
shuts.
till Wednesday. We've got till Wednesday to register them. We've got to Thursday at 5 o'clock to sign them. So obviously Wednesday then, innit? Wednesday at 11, I think.
So you're really, you're sort of shutting up shop soon. So you really, and obviously the games tomorrow, if anybody's half decent, they're going to be playing at the weekend. So that's where probably sort of reservations come in. You go, actually, this squad? Is the squad is big enough?
Yeah.
Is it strong
Yeah.
enough to handle it as it is just now? Probably no. We need well, a goalie, a left back, a defensive midfielder, a minimum. Then sort of taking into consideration the whole situation with Jota. Do you think he's going to be back this year or no? If no, do we need somebody on loan for 6 months until we think Jota will be back up and running? But as you sort of describe the teams, I sort of get I can sort of see it's where you get the confidence from. But I'm so I'm so curious, the same as Joe. I'm still
No,
curious to see how it goes.
Curiosity. And you know, that and hope will kill us.
But see, this is where I am willingly. I'm doing it. I'm setting myself up for total disappointment. I said 2 weeks ago,
Have you
I
not
would
learned?
love it if Celtic never signed anybody in the transfer deadline day because we had all our deals all done. I said I would love that. That would be perfection for me. And you know we all love fucking last day. I wonder who we'll get. But see right now, I want everybody done for Monday or Tuesday. Everybody.
But do you
But
not
we're not
think,
going.
but-
I know we're not
but-
going.
But I know, but Scott, do you not think that's part of the pantomime of keeping Celtic in the public eye when it comes to the fucking sort of PR thing, like last minute deals? I mean, as part of me kind of, the older I get, the more sort of skeptical and cynical I get. I'm like going like, is part of it a bit theatrics, or is it actually just the way they want it to be? Like, do they want to be this fucking last up Larry? Like,
No, it comes down. It definitely comes down to the fucking. We think we can. I mean, Marty put it in the chat the other day. So the English transfer window finishes on Tuesday, the 1st, and ours finishes on Thursday. Now, this is for what I've read to believe. So the English League wanted a universal closing of the transfer window, and the rest of Europe went fuck off because you start early and blah blah blah. But the English League have got that much money that they'll get who they want in general. Do you know what I mean? So they don't need to fucking worry about. Whereas the rest is all kind of, and Scottish football have got an agreement with the English League that we'll do 2 after, so that we can kind of cherry pick anything that's floating about and it helps us. So it's a kind of agreement. So Celtic have it in their head that last minute deals, because we've done it in the past, we've got the benefit of these last minute deals with England. When the leagues are all fucking finished doing what they're doing, we can go and get these guys who are on the periphery. But this season should have been different. It should have been. And it's such an arrogance by your fucking wank of a club that they know better. Because the thing that worked for them 15 years ago, it's still the way to do things. Whereas this year, we should have had everything in line to give Martin O'Neill the best chance and the squad best chance to get through to the Champions League. As I say to you, maybe because of that, what happened the other night with the Champions League, that I don't see getting a fucking skating off of Borussia Dortmund, shite. Getting a skating off of Lask is even worse, I have to say, but but prepare yourself right and it'll no happen. But Celtic could spend 30 million this summer. Could have spent 30, get into the Champions League, and we'd have get beat 5 or 6 off of somebody. Even with that outlay, easy peasy. I mean, see when you watch Real Madrid and you watch Real Madrid and you watch PSG, it often comes into your head, doesn't it, that you kind of go, fuck, imagine them against us.
They're different levels. But it's the only thing I would say, see that, and it goes back to the point I made at the start, I don't think the club has got the structure in place to be able to bring in 5 or 6 players who are all being brought in the region of between 5 and 10 million. I don't think they've got the people in place who can sort of deal with the deals, deal with lawyers, deal with agents, deal with all those things. I don't think they've got that structure in place to do that, and that's why it's very sort of stop-start.
And that's where it becomes Mickey Mouse, is it not, Brian?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Where are the professionals? If I'm running any kind of like operation or business or project, I need knowledgeable, competent, capable people, and I need to know that that's what they are before I start anything. Right? And if you are operating without those kind of solid foundations underneath you, when you're trying to like embark on like developing relationships, developing like progressing, deals or whatever, collaborations, partnerships. If you haven't got that, everything's on a shaky peg.
Yeah.
Everything.
And I think that's where and I think that's, and it sort of goes back to what you said, Joe. It's a hope it kills you, because it's taken them. So the season finished on the 25th of May. So what's that? Nearly about 10 weeks, no, 12 weeks. June, July, August, and we've signed 3 players. So it's taken us 12 weeks to sign 3 players.
And see,
tell me this,
Chamberlain. See, for us, no Chamberlain was suspended.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
Because that boy could have made a big difference last night.
Again, that's the kind of gap in the detail the professionals will know.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. If you can't do it, go and get somebody that can do it.
100%. 100%. I mean, there's a level of humility involved. Going like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Let's find somebody.
Exactly.
I'm like at my job going like, what's happening? Look, tell you the truth, I haven't a fucking clue. But I know a person that might know somebody that might know, and we'll chase that worm for the next 2 weeks, and we'll see what it brings. And if it doesn't bring nothing, we'll start again. But we won't stop chasing the goal, because the goal is to find the best way to make this happen.
Well, another thing about the Europa, Besiktas, Big O plays up front for them. Celta Vigo, Starfelt plays in defence. Marseille, Timo Weah plays with them. And fucking Arzani is it fucking Ferencváros.
We are fucked then.
Certainty.
The best players in the world when they come back to play.
Lager Bielka looked like a world beater last year for Braga, man.
It's like a fucking remember me tour, isn't it?
The only guy who's actually turned up and actually stank the place out coming back to Parkhead was that keeper, because he was that bad. Fucking Barkas.
I know, but he went on to be.
No, but do you not remember last season he kicked the ball straight out forward?
No, that's right, aye.
That's right.
So fuck him. But aye, we're winning the fucking Europa, mate. We're winning Europa.
I'm glad we've turned the tide.
And a more serious note, it does really. See the next couple of weeks. See if you go and get positive results in the next couple of weeks, and you do go into the Europa on the front foot, feeling positive, looking forward, saying right, we can get a run in at it. But I think the standard approach from the majority of Celtic fans when you get knocked out of the Champions League is right, just deal with the league and the cup. I don't think the majority of Celtic fans.
That's frustrating. That is
frustrating, and that's where the next couple of weeks will become very important. So see if you go and win, like tomorrow, if you go and win comfortably tomorrow, midweek,
right,
blah blah blah. Then you go and win games, and all of a sudden you go, right, I actually like this. We're doing well in the league. We're going to have a right crack at it.
We gave up the ghost, and then you go and beat Feyenoord. You're like, fuck me, you know what I mean? Right.
Well, here, listen. The dreamer in me thinks this. Right. Last season started out.
Here we go.
In an absolute.
Don't do this. You'll just become curious the same as me. Don't become a dreamer. Don't be a dreamer.
I'm a curious dreamer, Brad. It could go anywhere. I'm saying, like, last season started out, and it turned into a shit show pretty quickly, and it all went to fuck. And then it ended in a wild blaze of glory that nobody saw coming. Right? We have now witnessed and encountered something that was like, that is head-scratchingly fucking bizarre to go like, how the fuck that happen? What the fuck's going on? So it's not like I'm not predicting the future, but I'm saying like it's not beyond the realms of possibility that blaze of glory doesn't once again manifest in something at a bit of a higher level. At the end of the season.
Whole load of stuff said there with Fuck all.
Lot of words, lot of sentiment, not a lot of sense, right?
Right.
But again, that's why I'm on this podcast.
So we've got Falkirk tomorrow, right?
Right.
And then we've got Aberdeen on Wednesday, both at home. Be sticking 6 points down, right? Let's stick 6 points down for them. Aberdeen, it'll be interesting to see what Aberdeen do this weekend, but Aberdeen generally a poor team. Falkirk don't look the same unit as the big players have lost. So
Lost players, aye.
right, so St Mirren away the following Saturday the 5th. That'll be tough. St Mirren aren't as great as they were, but they're still St Mirren. They're still the same. It'd be interesting to see how they go in the next couple of weeks, right? So then you've got on the 13th we've got this quarter final, and it's been revealed tonight that Rangers are planning to give us 300 tickets. Fucking brilliant.
How's that even a thing, man? How's that allowed?
300 tickets that Rangers are planning to give us for that one. And then we've got the following week will be a first European game. So as you say, Brian, right? It's no against the realms of fucking fantasy to suggest that Celtic have got 3 league wins and hopefully into the semi-finals of the cup.
Aye, and the game and the whole mood sort of changes. I think.
Yeah.
I think the mood tomorrow will be interesting, as you sort of touched on at the very start. But as I said, if you go and win 3 or 4 games, you get a few players in, you start to see players sort of gain fitness. You go, right, aye, we've got a wee chance. We have got a squad that's sort of big enough to deal with it. Whereas just now you're looking at it saying, actually, I'm not sure if you've got a squad actually big enough to deal with that.
Yeah. And you're starting to doubt the players. The thing is, if you start seeing an improvement in terms of giving up chances, I think you'll see a mindset change. Because the fact of the matter is, no matter how great that 3-0 game was, if you speak to anybody, you're like, fuck, Lass probably should have scored. They scored a fucking stunner, and Dundee United should have scored X before. Kilmarnock had a great spell at 1-0, and Dundee, it took a fucking Sinisalo great save to fucking keep Dundee out. So every game we played this season, there is a bit of luck. And we want to get to a point where you're winning games and you're going, right, nah, never looking the part. And if that takes a change of formation, if it means we go, see, you said you'd like to see Celtic go 3-5-2. I just felt if we were going to change to 3-5-2, we would have done it at some point in the summer. And the fact we've no done it at all leads me to believe it's no in the cards.
And I sort of agree with you, but see, in that moment when
I agree with you.
They've got 2 centre forwards. You're lacking height in the team. You know that Carter Vickers is slow, so you need pace behind Carter Vickers. I just thought it was crying out for Carter Vickers to go. Say to Carter Vickers, let's go and you go tight with the centre forward, and say to Trusty, right, let's go 5 yards behind him, and you sweep up. And actually, I think it would have worked, but I totally get what you're saying. It's not been worked on. I think there's a there's a stigma with 3-5-2 after Nancy. I don't think Celtic will ever play a 3-5-2 again. I think that's it done. I think that's it done forever.
I know, because I'll tell you it's an interesting thing, right? And it's total common sense, but I never thought about it. And it's interesting because I've got the game on the new. I was listening to On the Continent earlier, and they were talking about Bayern Munich appointing Vincent Kompany, and they said that Vincent Kompany, when Bayern Munich approached him, because obviously you remember that Vincent Kompany was 4th or 5th choice.
Yep.
And then when he got it, you had all these people going, fuck me, he just get Burnley relegated. How's he getting a Bayern Munich job? And if you go and look at Bayern Munich now, Bayern Munich are back to being an absolute machine. And they're talking about that Bayern Munich the new is looking as good as Pep Guardiola's in the way they play football. I mean, they're sitting here, they're 5-1 up over the game, the goal chopped off. And what it was at Kevin, is it? Anyway, the journalist, he says, what you've got to realise is Bayern Munich looked at Vincent Kompany when he was Burnley manager in the Championship, and he looked at it. They looked at how he coached with the expectation of winning and what kind of football he played with a winning team in in a hard league, the Championship. Because obviously with the team that was better than everybody else in that league, and he had them playing football. And then when they got up to the Premier League, they'll get one of the worst teams because it's no comparable. And they judged him on how he managed a club and what kind of football he played when he was the favourite, and it tied in, and that's why they appointed him. They appointed him on the basis of the Championship rather than the relegation. And I look at Celtic, and you go and look at the Nancy appointment, and the Nancy appointment to this day just doesn't make any sense, even on that scope. Yeah, he plays nice football, but does he play nice football and win? Because that's the kind of guys that we should be looking at as managers. And I thought it was a great point. And just with regards Nancy, and like, we kind of appointed Nancy because he liked play attacking football, but he never really won. So what was the fucking point? Because it's Celtic, you've got to win. You know what I mean?
That's it.
I don't know. Like, I know I was kind of off topic, but I just felt it was a very, because we were all talking about the 3-5-2 and the Nancy thing and stuff.
I'd prefer to never hear the words Nancy again. Like, I don't even listen to Nancy Sinatra. Fuck that.
Fucking hell, Joe. Racist. Right, anyway, right, so we'll right, wait. Nancy will eventually prove he's a good manager. Wrong place, time and club.
You think?
I don't know if I Mr. Strangelove the Doctor, I don't know if I agree with you.
That's up there with Jason Higgins going, Raphael Shite didn't get a proper shout.
Oh, well, we've got the perfect fucking man to tell us. Come on, Brian, he's a Raphael Shite story.
No.
Come on, Brian. Your ex-teammate.
I did not know this.
There was no. Jeez, Scott, why are we doing this again?
As I haven't heard it, Brian.
The story goes, Raphael Shite was in the first team squad. Obviously, he was bombed out. Ended up playing with 21s. He wasn't happy at playing with 21s, and rightly so. Obviously, he came here from Brazil. He's training at Barrowfield on Sunday morning, raging, playing at Livingston on a Monday night in front of two guys in a dug against whoever it is. So we were playing on a Sunday we were training on a Sunday morning. Usually, there'd be maybe 3 or 4 of the first team boys would come down and train, and they would be raging about training because obviously they'd missed out on a Saturday. They're training on a Sunday. They hate training on a Sunday, and they're playing on a Monday night. There was a tackle between me and Raphael Shite. It's back in the day I could tunnel myself, and it's on a football part. I couldn't find my way out of a sort of paper bag, but on a football part I could tunnel myself, and he was injured for I wasn't specky then, and well, I probably should have worn specs because I'd probably get the ball instead of getting the man. And me and Raphael Shite had a set 2, and next tackle I sort of came out better, and he was injured for a significant period after
wrecked his career, man.
I wouldn't say wrecked his career. I'm sure he was bought for 3 or 4 million, and he was on a substantial wage. And when I was getting released, I'm sure he was still getting paid, so I'm sure he was quite happy about going back to Brazil.
Well, now we know why it was fucked.
No. Right, Scott, let's move it on to tomorrow. Let's speak about tomorrow.
Is there an insurance claim that's beyond the statute of limitations?
What? Yeah, I think you're breaking up on me, Joe. I can't hear you right here. You're breaking up on me.
Curious, Joe. You were just curious.
I'm just asking questions, Scott. That's what I do. I ask questions.
Just ask questions. Right. Interesting. So, did we see Martin O'Neill's presser today?
I didn't watch it. No, I didn't get to see it.
I heard
it was depressing. No.
But so I think so. Big Who says he'd cramp. For what I'm led to believe, Carter Vickers was training today, and he'd cramp as well. Donovan. So the only guy that was a risk for the Mora is McGregor, because he's been sick like the fucking rest is. So with that in mind, how's Falkirk going this season already? Falkirk.
He's get beaten the first game against Kilmarnock. Was it Kilmarnock he beat?
So
I can't think of other ones. I don't think they're doing that well. We've
Falkirk,
struggled so far, haven't they? No, St Mirren beat them the first game of the season.
Falkirk beat St Mirren beat them 2-0 at Falkirk, and they drew 0 each with Motherwell.
Aye, that's it.
So right, you see, you're saying your team. So obviously the keeper keeps his place. Defence wise, I don't see him changing it. Maybe Scales to come
think
in
he'll
for
go-
Trusty.
Well, if it's me, I would go Ralston,
Ralston.
Trusty, Scales, and Tierney.
So you'd take Vickers out and you'd take a Donovan.
Aye.
Ralston.
Yep.
God, Ralston.
Well,
Ralston.
But I mean, you're playing a team that hasn't scored any goals, aren't you?
Right. So that's how we want to give him a go. Is that why we're playing Ralston?
I'm just saying. I mean, they don't appear to be the biggest threat. So.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man! We're gonna get fucking.
It's 3-0 down after 20 minutes.
I am setting the stage for massive disappointment.
Jesus. Right. I'd be surprised with that. I think Donovan will play.
See, to be fair, I think he will play Donovan. I'd be surprised if he plays
Vickers, aye.
Donovan, Carter Vickers and Tierney. I think one of them will drop out. So I think, for me, it'll be Carter Vickers, and I think he'll play Trusty and Scales. Especially if I've got a game, it's midweek, game Saturday night, a game midweek, then I've got a game on a Sunday. I think they'll pick this one at home that will drop him out because he'll want to get sort of The only problem he's got is there's no replacement for Tierney because that's going to be a substitution after 65 minutes. That's your problem.
Yeah, I was actually thinking with Murray maybe kind of come in.
I want to put
Aye,
a
plus
focus
Scales, of course, maybe. Aye, good.
a bit of focus on Donovan. Like, I mean, there's a guy that you look at and go, I hope you keep on keeping on, because there's a lot of kind of belief building around kind of him as a player.
See, to be fair, Joe, I'm a big fan of Donovan. Anytime I've
me
spoken to
too.
Scott, I'm always about pushing the young boys forward.
Aye.
He's done fantastically well. I was delighted for him last Tuesday. I thought he was outstanding.
I
Or
thought he was
last
pretty
Wednesday.
good.
I thought he done well all night. But he needs to now make that step for no being that young boy who keeps taking cramp all the time. And he can't last a full game. He needs to sort of develop his body. And that's the bit that's going to sort of hamper him, because the club will now start looking at actually signing right back in, because they've got a right back just now who can't last a full game.
That's kind of one of those things I kind of wanted to ask you about, Brian. I mean, like, see, when you say something like that there, I mean, like, how does a player approach that?
It's just a physical aspect. It has to work with the sports science. It has to work with the people who speak to him about how he sleeps, and what he eats, how he trains, how he rests. It's all these things that sort of take you from being a young boy. I think it sort of happened with Tierney one year. He went away and he was always he would miss a game, and he looked frail. When he came back one summer, and he just grown, he developed, and you were like, geez, right, he's ready. And I think Donovan's still at that point, you know, and it's the wrong point for him to be like that, because if he was developed just now, he would be he's easily getting about 25 games this season.
I suppose, I mean, if he was a fucking car, he's pushing himself into the red too often.
Aye. And that's the bit that he sort of has to... See, if you look back at the game this midweek, see before he gets taken off, so it must be, what, it's 2-1 to them at the time, he's overlapping. He's doing an overlap, and 2 minutes later, he sort of pulls up the cramp. And you're saying, that's the wee bit that he has to learn to go, actually, I'm not going to do that overlap, I'm going to sit behind. I'm going to keep my legs.
A level of discernment around your energy and your capacity.
Actually, it's 4-2. We're away from home. It's a Champions League qualifier. And I know it's hard to say anybody because he's only 19, and there's other players who should have been fucking who should have been telling him it. But it's that wee bit, and that's a wee difference for. See Johnson, it's Alistair Johnson would have known not to make that run, and he would have sat behind.
Yeah.
Alistair Johnson would have slowed down when the boy comes close. He would have bought fouls. He would have slowed down at throw-ins. All the wee things he just needs to learn, because there's a short window that you get at Celtic for a young boy to go and develop and sort of be a first-team player, and this is his window now.
It's a really interesting insight that I'd never really thought about. Going like, you have to be. Word, is that something that can be? Again, it's one of those things you'd imagine somebody is in there going like, my job is to make sure you don't fucking blow yourself out.
There should be. If there must be a sport that if there is a sports science team, and there must be less. It's just how much he listens to them. And I'm not saying that I've no idea how good or bad the boy is. I've no idea how good or bad his attitude is. I've no question that at all. But for him to come off, because he came off with cramp sort of last midweek as well, the first game at home, didn't he? Because Ralston comes on in that game, and it's the second game away from home it does, and you're saying, actually, if you're going into big games now, are you thinking, actually, if I've got, and I'm sure Martin O'Neill's thinking this, if I've got Donovan, Carter Vickers, and Tierney, and it's a right hard game, that's 3 subs I'm going to have to make. And for me,
that's hopeless.
And that's that's probably on your mind from the first whistle.
Of course it will be. But I think he could just manage his legs or manage his energy, because I appreciate you can't develop your muscles in your body sort of overnight. It's going to take him time to do that, but he will develop over time. Of course he will. But he's got everything just now. When you see him, he's big, he's physical. He's got a bit of pace about him, he's got a trick, he's got a decent delivery, he's a decent passer, he's vocal. But you're just saying, actually, just sort of, this is your window. Just now to go and actually just nail that right back position. Because before you know it, if he doesn't, they'll go and sign every boy for Bournemouth, for example, right? And they bring him in, and he's a constant right back.
Well, where we are now, because Johnson got injured, I can't see us signing a right back.
No, they won't. They can't afford right backs.
I can see us, if we're going to get a right back, I can see us signing a loan, because see right now, Ralston's race is done with Celtic. I mean, I don't criticise players as much as a lot of other people, but I just think Ralston had his day in the sun. He had that season under Ange where he was great, and God bless him, he's a Celtic man and he's been paid decent dough and stuff like that. But see, for him, he should really go and do Scott Bain, and fucking just go somewhere and play for the regular for the.
Of course.
And we could go and get a lone player to compete with Donovan for right back, not to kind of take his place, just to compete with him, because as you say. It was really interesting to chat last time we spoke about this situation. You said it's hard for the young guys, but if a hole comes up, you've got to be ready to go and put your head up into that hole and take the jersey. And I think Donovan's looking the part.
Yes, totally agree.
And it's up to him, but as you say, you're offering us an insight into stuff. I think Joe's already said it. You're offering us an insight into how he's now going to change his things to suit what he's doing, and then he's going to learn what he's doing. He's going to be pushing fucking Alistair Johnson and going, what would you do here? What would you think here? What do you think there? Do you know what I mean?
See those fine margins though. See those fine margins you're talking about, like in terms of his physicality, in terms of his like physical progress. Do they require like sports science, kind of detail?
It's probably no to sort of yes and no. It's all common sense stuff. To be honest, it's all sort of making sure you're resting, sort of getting to your bed. It's all the right stuff you're eating and drinking. The sports science will give you the more specifics about what percentage, or what percentage of protein you should be eating, what percentage of carbs, sort of when you should be eating it, sort of how many hours, sort of should you be sleeping. Sort of when should you eat? But it's all stuff that you would know. It's all stuff you would dream off. But you've got that sort of collection of people who will be able to give you the finer detail of you sort of in relation to your body and your growth. And
That's
that's where you should,
the kind of fine tuning, like.
yeah, basically, and it's that sort of, to try and make sure. If I was him, I'd be going in, and it's easy to say that because I'm older and he's 19. He's only a young boy.
He's running on blood and thunder.
Aye, but you should really be going into the sports science and say, right, it's going to tell me how I can sort of stop getting cramp in games. Right, so what do I eat before it? It's what do I have to eat before it? And it's not like the game. So if the game's on Saturday, right, so what do I have to eat in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? You know what I mean? It's a full build-up to your week.
Okay. See, people fucking... The players coming through understand that kind of level of commitment to...
Aye, they're getting sessions on sports science on a regular basis.
The young players today, like, are they getting that?
Mm-hmm. Probably not to the same extent, but it will sort of be touched on in terms of sort of what they should and shouldn't be eating, how much they should be sleeping, how much they should be resting, how much sort of carbs, how their protein, sort of how much activity, how much running, how much, all that stuff is exposed to the young guys coming through. So it'll be standard chat to the young guys. It's how much they take on and how much they implement is down to them. Because obviously they walk away from the dressing room and they walk away from the stadium and they walk away from the training ground. Then it's down to them.
Real life kicks in then, and fucking like
and your life kicks in and your pals.
Your life, aye. Because my wee lad has his first league match tomorrow, and he'd have played oven chips and some chicken wings earlier on. Oh,
Do you know it's funny, right? It's funny, but we're on the home straight here, and we'll kind of come back to folk again. But I've just read, I'm on Twitter here, and it was some guy criticising his Wayne's new team, and he says, I was talking to somebody, and they took their kid to their new team, and they done 25 minutes of running before the ball came out, and these Waynes, and then you'd all these people, oh, terrible. I put my Waynes through a pre-season this year. Because
so what age are
they? 10 and 11. I've got the unfittest 10 and 11-year-olds you will ever fucking see in your life. Honest to God, you're talking about cramp. Wayne's asking me to come off and all that. So I told all the parents, I says, by the way, I've been, I do with their sessions and it's all fitba, right? I do a wee 5-minute jog to start off sessions because it allows me then to set up. Know what I mean? Just keep them moving, and then it's all fitba. But I told their parents, I say, see your Waynes, I'm going to do a proper. What do you mean? And I was like,
bunch of fat cunts.
I'm talking about what's that, Joe?
So, see your kids, bunch of fat bastards.
Mate, I told every one of them because my Wayne's the same. Because he comes home from school and he goes up the stair and he'll fucking have some shit for his dinner and he'll no good and he'll sit on his computer and he's talking to all the what. Mate, well, one of the Wayne's come back. What's his size? Know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, use no chance. So, by the way, I'm telling you, it's worked. They're all looking fitter, they're all looking more active, they're all looking into it. And everything we do training now is just all fitba, but
that's great, Scott, because
I can't remember no being fit as a wee guy. I can't remember no having energy.
I know, but you also didn't have a fucking PlayStation 3.
But that's what I'm saying, It's all these people who pontificate and tell us, you shouldn't. But mate,
I know, but like here's the thing, like my wee lad is friends with the same, but I'm very lucky as in like there's a football pitch right behind my house. There's a football club across the street from my wee lad plays for, across the road from my house. Like fucking like it's all within fucking a minute's distance. I mean, so like him and his mates can have it in their sort of environment.
Yeah.
And that's good because it's there for them to adapt to, and it's there for them to be attracted to, and like the local team play, the fucking floodlights are on. You can see I'm sitting in my fucking front door in my sitting room, and the fucking floodlights come on. My wee lad's like, "Oh, there's a game on," and he's across the road, and there's an AstroTurf pitch next to the pitch, so the lads can kick ball.
That's brilliant.
Like, that's very different to the environment. You're dealing with a very different environment. Like, and again, these lads are a wee bit spoiled. Like, they kind of take it a bit kind of for granted. Like, oh, we just play football. They're going like, yeah, but you have to like put some fucking effort and endeavour into it. You have to give a fuck about winning. You know what I mean? You can't just turn up and go like, we play football. I mean, it's not fucking youth club. I mean, it's competitive fucking sports at the end of the day, right? But what's great about them having the access to that is that it keeps them busy enough with football that they think about football and they understand, if I'm playing with my mates and I want to win a ball off him, I've got to be quicker than him. I mean, and it's one of those things where it kind of rotates in their life. I mean, and that's a really positive thing. Not that that's going to make them fucking great players or they're going to win the league or whatever the fuck. It just means that they have the concept in their head of like, I need to be better than that guy or that guy or that guy or this friend or that friend. He can do this, I can't do that. And it's always happening in their lives. And you'd like to think that would, like, you suppose, transition over to like when you're playing against another team, say like tomorrow when the league starts, when they're playing at 10 o'clock in the morning up the road, right? To look at a couple of players of the team going like, I'm better than him, I'm better than him, and I'm better than him. And that's kind of the confidence you want them to build. Like that I don't think any coach can breed that or can give that to you. It's something you have to kind of come to yourself. I don't know about you, how you feel about that, Brian. I mean, you've played the game. Like I'm talking utter shit. But I think, in terms of when it comes to young players recognizing their ability in the game, you have to come to that knowledge yourself.
Yeah, that's probably the point. See, the sooner that players at any age sort of realise what they're good at, it's when they go and enjoy it even more and they'll be successful.
Brilliant.
And I'm no mean
100%.
like you go and kick alone and play with Celtic Rangers. Like it could be at any level. Once you realise, actually, I'm really good at running back, or I'm really good at defending, or I'm really good at passing, and I'm just going to try and do that. But I'll still practice other things. But I'm really good at doing this. There's so many boys across different age levels, and they try and do things that they're not really good at, and because they're trying to focus on the things that they're trying to develop instead of actually see the things you're good at. Actually, just keep doing that.
Aye.
Because that's what's got you to this point. So keep doing that, make that even better, and see the other things that will come. That will eventually come, and you'll get that up to a level that's acceptable. But see the thing that you're really good at, then keep doing it. And it's that wee bit, and that all comes from sort of what you're talking about. See, when you're playing games and your pals or training or whatever it is, and you learn, actually, I can't sort of run away from that. People say I'm no fast, but see, if I just bide my time and I can defend against people, I'm good, and I can read a game a wee bit better, or actually I'm really fast, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run away from people. You sort of learn that, and it's definitely, the sooner boys learn that, and girls, the better.
Right, so we'll finish up then.
We've solved it all, Scott. Yeah,
Solved it.
We've solved
it.
fucking
Hey, this
nothing. Don't think we've solved.
this podcast should be called the Solve It fucking Boys.
Solve it.
It took us long
I'll
enough
give
to
you my
solve
back
the
four.
It took us
That's
long
you.
enough to solve the sound. Fuck's
I
sake.
know, there's a lot of people commenting on that.
Hey, by the way, I went and listened to the YouTube sound. I blocked you off. Sounds fine. Bunch of fannies in the fucking comments.
It's a bit harsh.
Oh, it is. I checked it out.
Arseholes, mate.
Arseholes. Tell me.
Right, game of order, Brian, you going?
Yes.
You looking forward to it?
Aye. You're always looking. No,
That says
you're always,
it all, bro.
no, you're always looking forward. You're always looking forward to it, but it'll be an interesting atmosphere. I'm hoping that Hassan plays. I'd like to see him get a start. I'd like to see a sort of freshness about the team for midweek. But I think it's going to be an interesting atmosphere tomorrow. Because I think, see the atmosphere, I was up at Tannadice, that was brilliant. Obviously, it's a Saturday night, and I think everybody was steaming anyway, so I think it was just a cracking atmosphere. I was at a game midweek, the first European game. That was cracking atmosphere as well, because there was it felt like a proper Champions League night. The first qualifier at home.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what the atmosphere is like tomorrow, because obviously, I think all fans have sort of taken the hit, and I think that's where we sort of need the freshness tomorrow, and that's where I would play Hassan tomorrow, just as alright, that's brilliant. Sort of looking forward to seeing him.
So who do you think? What do you think will start? You said that you think the defence will get changed up. Centre of the park.
I think the centre.
Egan's going to start, isn't he?
He'll start. If McGregor's been no well, I'd be surprised if he plays. So I think it will be Hatate and Boer. Then the front three, I would probably drop the big centre. I would probably drop big Casper. I would play Duran through the middle. I'd play Hassan off the right.
See,
And if
the
it was
fact
me,
that he came off with cramp and all,
I know.
I wouldn't be adverse to that either.
And for me, I would go with Forrest off the left, but it'll probably go with Yang off the left.
Joe.
My lineup.
Yeah.
How about you fellas?
How are you guys?
I love you guys.
I'm joking. No, I fucking.
Do you think Chamberlain might come in?
I do, but I don't know if that's going to change an awful lot. I kind of see him, and this is going to sound harsh. I see him in the fucking Dion Dublin fucking category at this point.
Joe, do you know what? I totally disagree with you. Right? And
You think he's a player?
No, just a fucking name that's allowed to come in and fucking express himself as a former class act. And I find that
I think Chamberlain as a player has more than McGregor. Now McGregor means more to us.
But do you use him in the right way, or do you? I think Chamberlain would have a lot more impact to Celtic if he was allowed to be McGregor.
Well, this is what we're saying. If McGregor doesn't play tomorrow,
I know, but does that change anything going forward though? Does that mean like?
that means he starts.
Does it though? Does it though? I don't think it does.
Oh no, for tomorrow.
For tomorrow. And say if tomorrow works out well and it's gangbusters and he runs the show. Are you do you honestly think you're going to see it again?
No, well, it gives you something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, that's enough.
And that's better than I'm not talking about it.
Gives us something to talk about. Gives us fucking fuel for the fire. Do you know what? There's a certain level of staleness that I'm finding.
Yeah.
From McGregor that is starting to irk me, and I don't want to seem negative about him because I love him. No, we all love him. Right? But there's a certain stagnance that's coming with his.
It's not negative seeing what you're seeing with your eyes.
I know.
We've done this years ago, Joe.
But Catholic guilt will always get me, Scott. What the fuck?
Really, a Catholic?
I'm a pantheist.
Fucking a pain in the arse. That's it.
I mean, part of me doesn't want to besmirch.
We said this years ago. We said when we come on this podcast, we will say how the game went. We won't fucking think about the next game. We won't think about what happened last year. We'll call it how we see it. And the fact of the new is, Callum McGregor, you're seeing the kind of the point. You're seeing the fucking end of the road. It's in his fucking future with Callum McGregor. Now Chamberlain, I'm led to believe, is no even fucking a year younger than him. So fucking he's hardly your future.
Well, but I think some of the
thing is, if we sign Chamberlain, and if you're telling me that we only going to give Chamberlain a chance to benefit our team, then what the fuck was the point in signing him? I know the point you're making.
I'm now firmly on your side, but my thing is, right?
Fuck's sake, man.
That's how easily turned I am. Fuck his opinions. Easily turned. Right? I think in some ways we cling to Callum McGregor because when we lost Scott Brown, we were so concerned about who would fucking take that captain's armband and who would pass. And when it was him, everyone was like, him? He's not the same as Scott Brown. He's not got the same personality. But it's worked out really, really well. And I think we're at the same position now going like, if he goes, who do we cling to next? And I think that's a bad habit.
And that comes down to the fact you don't trust your club.
Aye.
And
I think like, we are looking for another
Celtic fucking man, captain, middle of the field guy. And like, we almost didn't believe that Callum McGregor was going to be that guy when Scott Brown left. And you're not telling me that everybody thought Callum McGregor was going to be the captain that he became.
No, of course, no, I agree with you. But I think
there was an awful lot of fucking doubt.
I think the problem we've got is we're trying to replace Callum McGregor, who's the best midfielder in Scotland.
Aye.
Still.
Aye.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, there's nobody anywhere near him. So,
but we've also got
and we can see that he's coming to an end.
Connection, though.
Of course, I get that. There is an emotional connection. You sort of, and you've seen him develop and grow, but he's still the best midfielder. He's still, for me, miles ahead of anybody.
Oh, 100%.
There's nobody anywhere near him.
The only other player I would have even thought about got close to him in Scotland at any point would have been John McGinn.
Why, Joe? Why did you do that? Okay.
I was hoping to finish in 5 minutes, Joe. I'm up early tomorrow. I've got a kick off at 9. You'll start talking about John McGinn.
No,
Joe,
why
talk
did
about
you
John
do
McGinn.
that, man?
I just mean that the level of player that you would look at Callum McGregor going like, okay, well, the only other player I could have seen being there was John McGinn. And I'm not trying to start the John McGinn to Celtic thing. I don't mean to do that at all. Right? I don't want that to happen. I'm just thinking, like, I mean, the caliber of player. The only one I can think of that would have matched them in Scottish football at any time, and his kind of trajectory would have been John McGinn.
I'd still take McGregor. It's all day.
Aye, I know. Me too. But I'm saying,
day,
like, the only person that made have matched this caliber, we didn't buy. Anyway, good night, folks.
Yeah. Right. Is that us?
Is it us? Predictions?
I think so.
Fuck that.
Predictions.
No,
No, we're not doing that. We don't do that.
I don't. You can do predictions. I'm not doing predictions.
I don't fucking listen. I have my dad's betting fucking generational history. I could fucking paper my house and beating doggets. Fuck that. Brian, what do you think?
I don't know. A 4-0. The Celtic score early doors.
4-0.
Yeah, I think Celtic will score within the first 10 minutes.
Aye.
There you are.
There you go.
I've give you a score and I've give you a bet as well. There you are.
What a guy.
Let's go.
Paddy Power. It's sponsored by Paddy Power.
Bat 666. Folks, that was good fun. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. That was great crack. It's always great to have you on. It's always good to actually listen to you. I actually love being on the listen to the podcast you're on because you're the wisest person that comes on this podcast. I think at any point ever.
I don't believe
Scott,
that for a second.
Scott, it's always good to be in your orbit.
Hey Joe, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. I was setting you up for that. Aye, we've done 2 hours 17 minutes and we've saw fuck all. We've achieved fuck all, and like most Celtic podcasts, we are glad for your attention. Hail to the folks.
Hit like and subscribe.
Do you know what? Don't do that. You know what? We would prefer if you didn't.
Fuck it. We don't want anybody knowing about this.
No. We prefer if less of our friends knew we did this shit.
We've got to turn our cameras off so we can deny it's actually us. Fuck's sake, man.
We get identified in pubs by our voices going, are you Joe HomeBhoys? Going, no. No, I'm not. I am Vladimir from Russia.
Sitting in some shitey fucking boozer in fucking North County Dublin fucking making shit analogies. Are you Joe?
Aye. No, I'm not. Sorry, Joe. Fuck off, would you? No, fuck.
Anyway. Right.
Anyway, folks, we'll talk to you soon. Hell.
Peace out. Monacelli.
You.
It's Hill.